In the days when I was young and the internet was a new and bewildering concept we were still fearfully hitting with mammoth bones to provoke a reaction, it was common practice for popular movies to commission licensed video games as a form of cross-promotion. This practice has all but ceased today, at least in the AAA sector, for two main reasons. Developing games now takes too long and they can't be counted on to be ready to coincide with a movie launch, and secondly, all but a very small number of such games were a load of old double-dipped dingo diapers. If you want to adapt movies to games these days, you either take the Warriors route and aim for the nostalgia crowd who don't care that both they and the property in question are about 40 years out of relevance, or you exclusively adapt IPs that we are apparently never ever going to see the fucking end of. Step forward, motherfucking Star Wars. And oh, isn't Star Wars Outlaws a match made in Coruscant? An open-world Ubisoft game set in Star Wars, we have officially reached the bland, overproduced wank singularity. This is going to be like when a storm cell meets another storm cell in the upper atmosphere and next morning nobody has windows anymore. Except with wank. I'm going to spoil some late-game plot twists in the upcoming paragraph, so token spoiler warning, but don't stress about it. This is like spoiling that it's not a good idea to train a hedgehog to administer suppositories. Star Wars Outlaws tells the story of one specific Star Wars outlaw, Kay Vess, helmet-haired heroine with name straight from the random Star Wars protagonist name generator, who is a lowly street thief on a backwater world who accidentally antagonizes a slick villainous crime lord so wealthy and powerful he hires someone to twirl his moustache for him. And of course, this is the exact same setup as Assassin's Creed Mirage's protagonist, because I swear Ubisoft these days just use a Mad Lib instead of a design document and only ever change the fucking nouns. So we escape into space to become a jobbing mercenary and later on get recruited by a slick, handsome white dude for a heist against the established slick moustache-twirling villain. And not long after, while zoning out during another copy-pasted stealth mission, I thought, hey, hang on, didn't the main villain in his opening monologue that felt like a mad-libbed version of the villain's opening monologue from Assassin's Creed Syndicate say something about growing up with a brother? Oh, bollocks, I've just predicted this game's entire plot, haven't I? And indeed I had, but I don't feel smug. It's hardly the apotheosis of nuanced storytelling. It's Star Wars, where the baddies all dress up like black sex toys and use the word scum like it's a comma. But how does the game play, Yachts? You fucking know how it plays. It plays like a Ubisoft open-world game. As in all of them. If they'd replaced Empire with Templars and Rebels with Assassins, they probably could have called it Assassin's Creed in space, only with a lot less parkour, because the cities tend to be cramped and lacking verticality, and the open-world part of the open-world Star Wars game promise lies exclusively in the expansive plains of bugger all that some, but not every, visitable planet has bolted onto the sides of the city areas for you to spend a few uneventful minutes motorbiking across. You know what's really infuriating about Star Wars Outlaws is that I can't get particularly infuriated at any specific part of it, and that just makes me even more infuriated. It's classic Jiminy Cockthroat syndrome spread across a million gameplay mechanics and focusing on none of them. So of course you've got bland stealth based on backstabbing unaware guards with microscopic patrol routes who spent a lot of time taking inordinate interest in walls, bland gun combat about pew-pewing away with an infinite ammo blaster until you can use your Red Dead Redemption rip-off quick-draw headshot I'm bored of having to put actual effort in power once you've built up enough of what is rather ironically termed adrenaline. It somewhat undermines Kay's characterization as unconfident wayfish, oh please be gentle hostile universe Chan, I am but a small bean, when she routinely knocks out armoured men with a single punch and can trick-shot the testicles off a mayfly at 20 paces. Also, there's bland-ass corridor climbing, bland anus press-the-button puzzles, bland bottom speeder racing, and bland posterior space dogfighting. Looking for the core gameplay mechanic is like being at a speed dating event for middle managers. None of them have anything particularly wrong with them, but none of them are sparking my stovetop alight either. I struggle to think of anything one could point to as the game's unique selling point. Maybe Kay's little furry axolotl friend, but that's just something midway between the bird friends in later Assassin's Creed games and the drones from Watch Dogs. Its only really useful function besides contrived puzzle scenarios is to distract guards during stealth, but she can also just whistle to lure them to the chest-high wall or tall grass, and to add further bacon bits to this pointlessness potato, you might as well not even bother with stealth in the first place, because direct combat isn't hard, takes less time, and whether you lulled their henchmen to gentle sleepy time with scented chloroform pillows, or stabbed them all through the eye sockets with rolled-up photographs of their murdered children, is apparently a matter of indifference to the game's various crime lords, who will just keep giving you chances to prove your loyalty, even after you've betrayed them so many times you're basically using their spine as a knife tidy. Oh yeah, the faction system, that could be a USP. Well, SP, well, P certainly. You do side jobs for the various gangs to improve your standing with them. But the question I kept coming back to was why? Why should I care how many stars are next to my name in Jabba the Hutt's Crush Diary? I thought about doing it so they'd let me wander around their territory unmolested, so I could more easily complete certain critical path missions, but then shooting them all in the face proved a lot quicker. There's a recurring mechanic where you go to a food vendor, watch an elaborate animation of your dish being prepared, and then complete a prolonged sequence of QuickTime events to watch Kay and her pet Boglin eat it, or stare longingly at it if you fail to hit the buttons. And I wondered why this was happening, unless there there was a very bored designer on the team who was a huge fan of both Monster Hunter and self-denial. But then I realised this was the game's defining moment. Massively over-designed and completely pointless. One for Star Wars fans would be the faint praise with which most reviewers would now damn Star Wars Outlaws. There's even a very fan-servicey bit where Darth Vader shows up for all of 5 minutes to piss all over the game's established villain and go, hey, bet you wish you were playing something with interesting characters like me in it, like it's a fucking Charles Atlas advert. But frankly, I don't even know what a Star Wars fan is anymore. No one could possibly be a fan of absolutely everything with Star Wars on it now. It'd be like being a fan of, I don't know, pieces of paper. Come watch our announcement stream to hear about all the wonderful new pieces of paper we're preparing for Quarter 4. One of them might have a willy drawn on it.